Alright, hey there guys and some gals, the few of you who are, interested in vehicles like myself, not just interested, but heavily passionate about vehicles. And anyway, so it had been a while since I had shown the progress on my Metro painting here. And I don't know, I guess the last few times I worked on it, I just forgot to film, my progress on it because I was just, I guess, fed up working on it. Now, usually I do, whatever, a fucking 8-10 minute bit on what I've done or what I'm going to do, blah, 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 after the hour and a half or 2 hours that I've put into it. But this time, because it is, as you can see, a very beautiful day here in the neighborhood, and the sun is shining brightly, and sorry for the dirty windows, but this is not a house. I thought, well, let's flip it around and get you guys caught up on what I've done here and what I'm doing. So you can see that it's getting closer to the end. It's a fucking very tedious painting. I've never done anything like this before. I mean, when I did start painting, when I was a young teen, I guess I was like 13, I took, my parents put me in a painting class. And my teacher wasn't keen on me doing cars, so I think the first painting I did was of some Inuit woman I found in her collection of postcards, whatever, which my mom still has. And but anyway, so Murray went into cars, of course, and more cars, and that's pretty much all I painted. And as for those of you who don't know, well, a couple of years ago I did something different. Not only did I do this 65 Chevy limousine, but I also did that B747 over there, that Boeing. And of course I did that Peterbilt record over here as well. So anyway, when you're talking about months of work like this, it's not just tedious, but it takes a lot of patience, and planning too. Like, how am I going to paint this? How am I going to make that look? And there's even a couple of things in here I'm still not 100% how it's gonna happen. But it's going well. It's like the expression goes. Rome wasn't built in a day. I've had to fix a lot of things here. As you can see, my pole there. I had this fucking terrible idea of adding this in one point, I guess a month ago or whatever, and actually I should have added it in at the end when everything else was done, because you see now I have to, excuse me, I have to retouch a few things. Lights need more work. The reflection of the lights inside, as well as the ceiling, needs some more work. The fan. I started painting the ad. This is fun because you see, there's no fucking color on this, so that's one of the reasons why it hasn't been the most fun painting to work on, because no chrome, there's no color, there's no wheels. This is how the Metro cars used to look before they were refurbished in the early 90s, the MR63s. And now, of course, as you know, they have the tan colored seats and the walls and all that. But before it was all very gray. And just to show you the ad that I'm using here from the 80s, I think early 80s. Whoops, actually let's just set it here. There we go. And there we go, get a little focus there. Now you see, this was promotional to go see the Expos play baseball for $2 by the chain of Calex gas stations in Montreal, and maybe further to Montreal, I don't know. Now it's funny because I had my mom and my stepfather. They came over here one night for whatever reason, for like, I don't know, not even half an hour. And I showed him the painting, and I showed him the ad that I was going to use. And then I looked at it, and I really looked at it, and I thought to myself, should I really use this ad? Because frankly, this was geared to people who had cars, who were driving. Because it says here at the bottom, it says, well, it's in French. I'm going to translate it, okay? So it says, for only $2, it says, get yourself a coupon that's exchangeable at the Olympic Stadium or a Ticketron counter against a ticket of $4. I guess that's a baseball ticket. It says, all you have to do is fill up for 45 liters, which is about 10 gallons, at your participating Calex service station. And I almost hesitated. I almost didn't use this ad because I said, fuck, this is not even geared for people who took public transport. This is people who had cars who, filled up their cars with gas. But I said, you know what, the fuck, the hell with it. I'm not going to go with changing my plan and find some other ad just because of a technicality, because it's a beautiful colored ad. It's beautiful artwork. This is exactly the reason why advertising is collectible. I mean, after I'm done with this, I'm going to try to sell this ad, And not only that, it's the contrast of the color, the bright colors that jump out in the ad, comparison to this, very, beautiful to the enthusiasts like us of these vintage rolling stock trains, but rather dull, So anyway, so food for thought. And I put that back here there because I did start putting some paint again. Painting is, if you don't know, it's like if you're painting a fucking wall in the house, you can use at least 2-3 coats, sometimes more, to get that that full, rich look where you don't see no streaks or anything, So that just the blue alone, yeah, it's taking quite a bit of. I'm on the third coat there, and yeah, I got to finish the floor. I got to finish the track here for the door, and the floor needs some work. I noticed something else, by the way. The floor, I was right. You see, not long ago, I bought a slide photo. No, I bought a bunch of slide photos from somebody I know in Toronto, who's a huge transit collector, and he sold me something like 70 metro slides taken in 1989. Mostly trains and the ticket booths and stations and. And anyway, so at any rate, I look at one of the slides one day and I said to myself, shit, I knew that's how I remembered the floors. Because you see, my grandparents lived in the Olympic Stadium, which was near l'Assomption station. And I remember often taking these MR63 Metros, the first trains that we had built in the 60s. And I remember the whatever, this pattern type of floor. And, and I looked at other photos and I didn't see that floor. I'm like, well, what the hell? I didn't imagine it. So, and then I look at one of the pictures I bought, these slides from 1989, and it shows the interior of one of these trains. I said, look at the floor. I said, fuck, there it is. There's my proof. So, me, I have to be as accurate as possible. This is when it's fun to be a perfectionist, to do things as accurately as you can as things were. That's why it'd be good, for example, restoring cars, because it's important to a lot of people, to there's nothing like looking at a vehicle the way it looked when it rolled off a factory, or rolled out of a showroom, because anybody can hot rod a car, modify it, but it's only original once. See? And on that note, it would be nice, as I was telling to a couple of my transit friends, it would be nice, if the STM, those stupid transit motherfuckers, where the metros are the only good thing that we have left and they haven't fucked up. It would be actually nice, if they, if they actually kept some of these trains still in service. I mean, obviously these MR63 trains are going to be in service a long time because the new Azure cars have problems and they're not adapted to the old technology and the tunnels and the wiring and blah, blah, blah. But it would be nice, if they kept several of them in service, and they might be, because it's part of our history. And I think, frankly, more than ever, I've realized that, the metro is, I find to me, the proudest thing about Montreal, considering how much a lot of shit has fucking gone downhill in this fucking town, that's for sure. And a lot of you would agree with me, and I'm not just talking about the fucking roads, let me tell you. Tabarnak, Anyway, so that's about it. Y'all have yourselves a good one, and feel free to comment, and if you're a smartass and you leave a smartass remark, don't even bother, because I'm gonna fucking remove it anyway. Anyway, adios.